Good morning. It makes for great mindfulness practice. For a long time, I thought that meditation needed to be done in an isolated way, in an isolated space, in complete silence. And the reality is that mindfulness is all about being present with what arises. Being present with our experience without judgment, good or bad. It is that judgment of things being good or bad that causes us suffering. It is our attachment to the judgment of those things. Good morning. For those of you who are new here, my name is Reverend Deborah. I am a movement facilitator, movement in breath, body, and being, and I am your shenanigan shaman. I think Puppy will handle most of the shenanigans today for me. He's got them on lock. Should I just not take that away? I'll just let you do that. Do you need more lap? Here. There. Here you go, dog. Yes, I am your shenanigan shaman. Puppy is taking on that role today, and these are our Bhakti Bites classes. Bhakti means devotion. So devotion to what? Devotion to self-care. Because just as we are not supposed to, at least, drink all of our water for the day in one sitting, because it's too much for the body to absorb. Self-care needs to be something that we can sip on throughout the day. So instead of accumulating all of these frustrations and stored emotions and compartmentalized experiences, that we can allow them to rise and be released rather than rise, attach, and hold on to them. There are many, many, many things that we pick up in our lifetimes. Memories, experiences, energy from other people, from other things, from experiences, from thoughts. And yeah, if you believe in reincarnation, there are things that we can carry on from other lives. If you understand genetics, you know that there are things that we can carry on through our genetics that we receive from our bloodline, both good and bad. So in Bhakti Bites classes, we practice mindfulness tools, self-care tools that are accessible and bite-sized, so that you can stick them in your pocket, weave them into your beard, and snack on them later. And we have been working with mudras for many, many moons now. Why? Because mudras are just ideal. They're accessible. Some of them are a little more difficult than others, but for the most part, all you need are your hands. Sometimes even just one. So the mudra we are doing this week is called the Mahatrika Mudra. Mahatrika. Mahatrika Mudra. This is a funny mudra because when you look it up, if you were to go search Google right now, the Sanskrit, this would tell you that this is the mudra for constipation. And yes, it totally works on constipation. But it's much, much more than that. There's a concept in the Vedas about what's called Runanabandha. Great, I'm going to not be able to remember the word right this minute. Runanabandha. Yeah. These are the things that we pick up throughout our day, throughout our lives, genetically, karmically, energetically, the things we inherit, the things we come in contact with. When I sit in a chair, that chair has an energetic memory. And I interact with that energetic memory when I sit in that chair, when I hug a person, when I kiss my partner, when I'm intimate with someone. I am sharing my energy field, and we are exchanging. Runanabandha. It can be thought of as sort of pebbles or stones that collect. And where do they collect? But in our pelvic floor, in our pelvis, in our pelvic area. They drop to the floor, the root of our being. And many of us carry a deep well of these. So the mudra, this Mahatrika Mudra, clears constipation, yes, but also energetically. It helps to remove the excess debris that we carry, that we collect unintentionally, unconsciously. It energetically works that way. It also works that way physically. So it works, on constipation, on menstrual cramps and complaints. It helps to balance pretty much everything going on from your belly button down, whether it be hemorrhoids, whether it be cysts, whether it be growths of any kind, all sorts of constipations, all sorts of blocked, stuck energies in the pelvic area, in the area from your belly button to your pelvic floor, to your root. So this mudra works to clear all of that up. Now, again, just like emptying a well, right? It's not always going to happen on the first just one bucket dip, right? You're not going to dip one bucket in and clear all that shit out. Sometimes it takes days, weeks. Sometimes it takes years, especially if you keep collecting new pebbles, dropping new pebbles in while we're also trying to clear it out, which to some degree we can't avoid. So this is a really good mudra for maintenance. This is a really good maintenance practice for your pelvic floor, for any issues from your belly button below. So, once puppy settles here and I can bring my hands back out, I will show you how to do the Mahatrika Mudra. I think we're good. You guys, you think it's safe? Is it safe? Okay. So, this one takes a second to get a hold of. So, stay with me here. Ajna, please lay down. Sit. Okay, well, let me do the mudra real quick. Okay? All right, hold on. Excuse me, sir. Lay down. All right. The mudra is done like so. Bring your thumb and your ring finger on each hand to touch. Thumb and ring finger on each hand to touch. Bring the tips of your thumb and ring finger to touch. Remember that when we make connections in a mudra, we use no more than the weight of a nickel. Just like an electrical circuit, we are redirecting the energy channels in the body. And just like you flip on that switch, it doesn't take a great deal of pressure to make that connection. No, it just takes a touch, right? Even before that, the electrical current can actually flow when you're not touching. So it is that small of a touch. All right. Thumb and ring fingers together. Bring both hands, the ring fingers and the thumbs, to touch. And then bring your tips of your pinkies to touch, leaving your pointer and your middle finger upright. Now we hold our mudra with intention. No tension, intention. No more than the weight of a nickel. Notice that this has a kind of pelvic shape to it. So we're going to go through this one more time because it's kind of funky. It feels kind of funky, and you want to make sure you got it right, right? Each finger represents a different element in the body, which is why it's really important to pay attention to which connections you're making. So let's do this again. Thumb to touch your ring finger. The tips of that ring finger thumb connection come together on both hands. Keep those pointer and middle finger nice and long with intention, not tension. Don't overextend your fingers. You're not stretching them out here, just intention. And then bring your pinky fingers to touch. Yes, that means that your ring finger is going to bend a little bit, and it should look like this from your perspective here. Okay? Mahatrika. Mahatrika. My Sanskrit is not perfect. I love any sort of recommendation for a good Sanskrit pronunciation. So, this mudra is really powerful. Both times I haven't been practicing this one in a while, and I forgot yesterday. I started practicing it again, and I forgot how powerful it is. So what we do on our Monday sessions in Bhakti Bites is we simply sit with our mudra. Nothing more, nothing less. We sit to experience the mudra itself. Bring your mudra down. If it's available to you and you don't have a puppy in the way, bring it right in front of your pubic bone. I personally have a puppy in the way, so I'm going to rest it just below my belly button here, or you can also bring it out a little further and just rest it out in front in your lap. Whatever was available to you. Sometimes this can feel a little bit, your mudra starts to fall in if that doesn't work for you. Some of us can do this, some so not so much. So find what works for you while you keep the integrity of the mudra. Remember, no more than the weight of a nickel on any of these connections. Keeping the other fingers extended with intention, not tension. Go ahead and rest your mudra either in front of the pubic bone, in your lap, or a little bit above, whatever works for you. I'm going to see if Puppy will let me rest it here on him. And we will begin for our meditation. So it's always recommended that you hold a mudra for a minimum of 5 minutes. 5 minutes allows the energy channels in your body to get all the way through, right? It gets a nice 5 minutes minimum. So if you have 5 minutes to join me, you don't have to close your eyes. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to do anything. You can simply hold this mudra with us for 5 minutes and you will receive the benefits from it. Even if you don't viscerally feel what's going on, but mind you, you very well may hold this mudra and start to feel shifts happening in your pelvic floor. If you are okay with that, sit with that experience. If it becomes too intense at any point, do not push yourself too far. We are not in the business of making a battle within ourselves. So if this becomes too intense, simply open your hands and lay them into your lap, palms up or palms down, whatever's comfortable for you, and sit for a few minutes and just let whatever built up dissipate. Okay? As soon as you release this mudra and relax that intention, you will also feel another shift. If you felt the shift of the mudra and it's too much, release the mudra and feel the way that it dissipates throughout your system, right? You can even drop it into the earth and be like, whoa, that energy was too crazy. Later in the week, we will get more in depth with our meditation. Today, we're just going to do 5 minutes holding our mudra. So let's go ahead and grab the mudra, bringing the ring finger and the thumbs to touch on each hand, bringing both hands together to touch at the ring finger and the thumb connection, bringing the pinkies to touch so those ring fingers bend a little bit, and leaving your pointer and your middle finger extended. Then place this in your lap, ideally in front of your pubic bone. As close as you can get to that is fantastic. Honor where you are in the moment, because it is exactly where you need to be. If you would like to join us for a meditation with the mudra, go ahead and close your eyes and begin with 3 deep breaths to fully arrive for our practice. Begin by inhaling through the nose, pulling the breath through the lungs and all the way into the belly. And sigh it out. Inhale again, lifting the heart and elongating the spine. And let it go. Inhale once more, expanding the ribcage in all directions, front, sides, and back. Hold at the top. And slowly release. Now seal the lips and begin simply following the breath. Follow the inhale all the way to the top and the exhale all the way to the bottom. This can be the entirety of your practice. Sit with the mudra and follow the breath. The most important parts of meditation are your intention and your attention. Everything else is just a boon. So our intention right now is you can choose to set your intention to follow the breath. You can set your intention to experience this mudra. You can set your intention to be present with this very moment. Whatever way you want to word your intention, word it the way that it comes to you, that feels right to you. Set that intention, and then bring your attention back to that intention again and again and again. I might choose to focus my attention on the connection points between my pinkies on this mudra. That particular point. And I'm going to continue breathing, inhaling and exhaling slowly, resting my awareness on the point that I have chosen, on the anchor that I have chosen. And when my busy mind monkeys pipe up about some worry or some fear or some concern about yesterday, today, or tomorrow, I bring my attention back. Mind monkeys like to pull our attention away. And when they do so, we meet them with loving kindness. And we gently bring our awareness back to our anchor. Choose your anchor, set your intention, and bring your awareness back again and again and again. Okay. Continue to breathe. Just 5 minutes, resting your awareness on your intention or on your anchor. There are so many ways to anchor yourself into your practice. I invite you to try a few to decide what works for you. Sometimes the breath is enough. Sometimes the mudra is enough. Sometimes we need a mantra. If you need a mantra, just repeat your intention to yourself again and again and again. busy your mind monkeys listening to the mantra of, I am experiencing this mudra. I am listening to the breath. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. Choose an anchor that weighs down your awareness into your practice, into your intention. You may stay here as long as you would like. That is it for our 5 minutes. If you feel complete or you just need to move on, I invite you to bring your hands together into prayer or simply lay one over the other over your heart in gratitude for today's practice, in gratitude for this space, in gratitude for these tools that allow us to release, heal, balance, and care for our body, mind, soul, and to offer yourself some gratitude for taking the time for self-care. Yeah, 5 minutes of self-care is worth rewarding yourself for. Fuck yeah. Way to go. I'm proud of you. And thank you so much for joining me to helping to cultivate this safe space for us all, where we can grow and learn together. When you are ready to come out of meditation, please do so slowly. Offer yourself wiggles, stretches. Slowly open your eyes, really again, when you're only really ready to commit to being back. Sorry, did I disturb you, young man? Thank you guys for the follows. Hey, you did 4 minutes? Nice. That's fucking fantastic too, though. That is totally worth celebrating. I don't care if it's 1 minute of self-care. The truth is if you do 1 minute of self-care again and again and again and again and again, you've got a day full of self-care. And 1 minute is way more manageable than 1 hour. I struggle to get myself on my yoga mat for a full hour every single day, because a full hour of physical movement is not always available to me every single day. Nor is it right for me every single day. So when we turn our self-care into beard snacks, right? So that we can nourish ourselves in little bits throughout the day. Amy, if you think about caring for yourself is good, it is important to care for yourself. Unless I fill my cup first, I will have nothing to give out. Dream baby, what if you can't do all the mudras with your fingers? That's okay. So, the beauty of mudras, right, is that, like I said, we are redirecting the energy channels in the body, yes? So we only need a very slight connection. Now, what if you can't quite make that connection? I have a friend of mine who struggles to get, he can't touch these two together, right? Actually, these ones either. He can't get all the way, he can't close his fingers in. But because these are energy channels, when you make that intention, yeah, when you set that intention and make the motion to bring them together with the intention, that energy channel still redirects. Why? Because when I am dealing with electricity, right, and I bring two ends together, do I have to touch them? Do I have to push them together to make the electricity flow? No. Can I hold them like this and see the electricity spark between? Absolutely. This is the foundation. This is it's a foundational piece of energy work, right? There's a beautiful practice that I always offer to new energy workers or people curious about energy work. And it's simply to create a ball of energy in your hands. Here's the thing, when you create that ball of energy in your hands, you don't need connection to make that ball of energy happen. We can cultivate it through connection, absolutely. Are you going to feel it more intensely if you connect your fingers? Yeah. But you can also experience it further away. Our energy body, a healthy, expanded energy body, expands out past our fingertips. We are so stuck in the illusion of the physical world that we forget that there is so much more happening outside of our limited perception of the physical world. And so with these mudras, we say, oh, damn it, I can't make that connection. It's not going to work. And the truth is, your intention and your attention are the most important pieces of any and all mindfulness practices. Without those, the practice doesn't have the weight, doesn't have the power that it otherwise would. Your intention and your attention do most of the work. We understand in quantum physics, right? When we place our attention on something, we change the very nature of that thing simply by placing our attention on it. Our attention, our awareness, is so powerful in this finite reality that if I place it on something, the molecular structure of that thing shifts. Not a ton. Obviously, it's not shape-shifting in front of me because I looked at it. But it does change. My observation changes that thing. This is why mindfulness is all set around this idea of awareness, of attention, where you put your attention, what you water grows, right? Your attention feeds the things around you. It feeds into your reality, into your perception and experience. Finding enlightenment or inner peace is not about changing my external reality to provide me with inner peace. I mean, I can do that. But I can change everything about my external reality and never experience inner peace. But if I experience inner peace, it changes everything about my reality. The same things might occur in my reality, but the way I experience them is different because of where I put my attention. If someone is yelling at me and I put my attention on the fear of something more happening, I don't know, they're yelling at me, they might slug me, right? So now my brain is going to focus on the fear that they're going to hit me. And my body and mind and voice are all going to react to where I put my attention. To a degree, I'm even calling in the thing that I am afraid of because I am putting my attention on it. The universe is an amazing reflector. That which I vibrate out like ripples in a pool. You drop a pebble in a puddle, and those ripples pool out. And as soon as they come in contact with anything else, what do? They come right back. And there is a lot around us, creating a kind of echo chamber. That is the nature of finite reality, is that we are trapped, so to speak, in this finite experience, with this experience of this echo chamber. Why? So that I may know myself truly. Everywhere I look, in everything I do, I see myself. Sound creates light. Yeah. There's the whole concept of the universe, what sparked the universe. sound. A sound. And that sound echoes through all of creation and is continuing to echo. In fact, it is said that our universe is made up of sound. Sound and light. Light, sound, sound, light. Light, sound. Yes, colors make sounds. And when we align ourselves with the nature of reality, which we cannot experience unless we bring our attention to it. If my attention is so many other places, worried about tomorrow or yesterday, or worried about my fear, or planning ahead, or planning ahead is sure. But if you spend all of your attention way out there, then you're not going to experience here. And you're not going to get there unless you recognize that you're here now and take those tiny little steps it takes to get you here. Change does not happen overnight. Yes, change does happen overnight. Transformation. Understanding. I can know something. I can receive insight. I can get a smack in the face from the universe, right? And suddenly have an eye-opening, kind of experience. But does that mean that I understand that insight? Usually not. That insight has to be integrated and put into practice. We can read books all day long. We can listen to the gurus all day long. But until you distill that knowledge into being, that knowing into being, into understanding, then it remains trapped up here. And you're going to be in that loop that a lot of us are in when we're on this journey, right? We're like, I understand the concepts. I get it. I've read all the things. I can regurgitate all the words, all the teachings, right? I can even speak Sanskrit. I can't really well. No. In fact, there was a story I heard. There was a story I heard just recently, and I'll share it with you because it highlights this really well. There was a monastery. There was, of course, right? This is how the stories always go. There was a monastery full of monks, and this young boy came to the monastery, and he said, I want to be a monk. I want to learn. I want to practice. I want to become, right? I want to follow this path. And so the leader of the monastery, the head of the monastery, tells him, okay, go every day and grind rice for all the monks. There are like 50, 100 monks in this place. There's a bunch of them. They need a lot of rice. So every day he grinds this rice. And when he gets tired, he sleeps in the same room where he grinds the rice. And when he wakes up, he gets up early to make sure they have enough food for everyone there in the monastery. And every day he does this. And the longer he stays and does this, he doesn't talk to anyone else. He doesn't study any of the information. He just grinds rice day in and day out. And as he grinds the rice, as he begins grinding the rice, old thoughts come up, old feelings come up. Things arise within him. But when these thoughts and feeling arise and find nothing to attach themselves to, they begin to eventually leave. They no longer arise. And after about 12 years of doing this, not really speaking much at all, grinding rice only, the other monks even, looking down on him, thinking, oh, he's just a rice grinder, right? He doesn't do anything. He doesn't study. He doesn't meditate. He doesn't do any of the practices. He's just the guy grinding rice. After 12 years, the head of the monastery goes to everyone and says, my time has come to step down. Anyone who believes that he has the ability to take my place, come tonight to my room and write a few words, write your whatever you think on the board outside my room. Many of the monks considered doing this, but most of them really felt intimidated by it, right? Why would I go? No, I don't know if I really know enough. I don't know if I am enough. Okay. But this one particular, very wise, very well practiced monk decided to go. And so he wrote the words. Oh, let me see if I can remember the story properly. He wrote the words about enlightenment being this process of recognizing where the dust of the thoughts settle within us. And in clearing away this dust, that is how we find enlightenment, right? Something to that effect. The next morning, the head of the monastery comes out and he reads this and he goes, who put this, baloney on my board? Like, what the heck is this? Who put this crap up here? What is this? Because it's just regurgitated teachings. Those are textbook words that he had learned over the years in the monastery. And after this whole scene, two of the monks walk away talking about this, and they walk by the rice grinder, who of course did not go to the board, he couldn't even read for that matter. And as they walked by talking about this, he chuckled to himself, and they were so surprised to hear him make a sound, much less laugh at what they were talking about, that they stopped and inquired. And they had a brief conversation with him. And he, of course, said, that's just textbook. If you will help me, because I cannot write, if you will come with me, I will speak the words and you will write them. Of course, his words were words that came from a place of understanding. Without any of the textbooks, without any of the practices that are recommended, without any of the great grand teachings, he was able to understand the nature of enlightenment, this process, this journey, in a very intimate way that the other monks could not quite access, in part because they were so focused on the specific teachings, on the knowledge available. We can get very lost in here, looking for the knowledge, looking for the how, looking for the why, looking for the answers, coming up with all of our questions and worries and fears and doubts. None of those things exist here. Your fears exist here. When we open this channel and release these fears, all that's here is divinity. Underneath the layer of fear, underneath the layers of doubt, underneath the layers of judgment and apprehension, underneath the layers of knowing and expectation, simply lies experience. And the nature of reality itself is experience. Every experience is a divine experience because it is through that divinity that we experience all these things. I have come to understand, in my experience, that the nature of reality is divinity experiencing itself. Om Namah Shivaya. friend. Namaste. Experience is the whole point. Yes. We get so lost in, and we forget to experience because we're up here. And when we're so used to being up here, again, it's difficult to pull ourselves down into experience. Where you rest your awareness is what you are cultivating in your life. As our awareness expands, we have the privilege of seeing more and more and more and more of what has been distracting us. More and more and more and more of what is not experience. Nice, Zep. I have traveled most of my life, all of my life, seeking experience. Integrating teachings into experience. When I was a little girl, I wanted to become a nun. And I still sometimes think I should have taken that route. But I was raised Catholic and did not resonate with the Catholic Church. In particular, I remember going through my first communion and part of the way through opting out. And to opt out, you have to talk to the priest of the church, right? It's kind of a big deal. And I just remember trying to explain to him how the church felt like a place of knowing or learning, right? Or reading, or like this work. And I said, I know that God. I know that guy. I've read that book. I want to know God here. I want to know God here. This little one. I want to know God here. I want to know God here. I want to know God in the tip of my pinky toenail. I want to know God in the silence of the night. I want to experience God. And I was so grateful because this could have gone way worse. But that priest, he listened, he questioned, and he accepted. And it's going to bring up tears because it was one of the first times in my life at 12 that any adult had actually given me the space to speak my truth and to say the things I really felt. And not only did he give me the space to do that, but then he gave me his blessing. And he said, that's exactly where God is. May you experience him in every cell, every fiber of your being, in every breath you take. to experience divinity, to experience God. We cannot really understand something through a pinhole, right? I can look through a doorknob lock and only see part of what's going on in a room. That is the way that we compartmentalize God when we just read the Bible and follow the words there. When we go to church and we take our religion as piecemeal, and that's it. It's like looking through a pinhole and saying, I know all there is to know about God because, sorry, I've seen this much. I invite you to take the time to expand your awareness to receive divinity in absolutely everything. Not just the puppies and the butterflies and the sunshine, but to experience God in your grief, to experience God in your anger, to experience God in pain. Because these things are also part of the whole of divinity, the light and the dark. Yes, my friend, dancing is fantastic movement of chi and a fantastic way to connect to our divinity. Actually, there's spiritual practices, many spiritual practices regarding dancing and movement. We are all fractals of source vibration. You guys know my fractal analogy, right? My crystal ball analogy. He did, Dream Baby. He did help me get here. I'm grateful for that, priest. And yet, there are still so many things. My spiritual journey started at 7 when I started to have recurring dreams of a past life and started to experience energy work in a very visceral way. It started really early. So after all of these years of learning here and pulling things down to transmute them into understanding, there are still so many things that have yet to be understood. Friend, I don't know how to pronounce your name there, but you learned how to feed your pain, divine love from within. Yeah. Pain is something that rises and falls the same way the life of a puppy or a bee or a flower rises and falls. It is our connection to it, it is our attachment to it, it is my holding and attention giving to that pain that makes it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. These experiences are finite. Jahe, okay, thank you. These experiences are finite. Your energy is infinite. The divine prana that flows through you is infinite. Remember, energy can only be transferred. It never dies. It is an infinite flow. I'm doing this because we have a Taurus that runs around us. Sorry, I'm just like doing small energy work on my aura here for a second. But these experiences within us, pain, fear, joy, all of these things rise and fall because they are finite. But what do we silly humans do? That finite thing rises before us and we go, ooh, interesting, I'm gonna keep that. Now it's my badge of honor. See this pain I experienced? And now I'm gonna use it to justify my anger, and I'm gonna weaponize this experience for all of you. I'm gonna tell you how wrong you are and judgment, right? All of these things that come from these places of us taking finite experience and trying to store it into a body that is meant for infinity to flow through. We create blockages to our infinity by placing finite things in the way. Yes, friend, tapping crystals is a good practice. Energy work, there are so many ways to move your energy body and clear stuck things. So I'll give you guys, again, our mudra for the week. Our mudra for the week, now again, so it's called the Mahatrika Mudra. If you go and you look online, you're going to find a million people telling you that this is the mudra for constipation. Yes, and not just physical constipation, but energetic, spiritual, emotional constipation. So it works on everything pretty much in the pelvic area. Of course, dog's going to block the pelvic area at the moment. Everything from the belly button down, everything inside of the hips, everything from your root, right, in your whole pelvic floor. What are you doing? I think he's looking for sunshine and I'm taking it all. The Mahatrika Mudra is done like so. Remember, these are electrical currents, right? So we need no more than the weight of a nickel. And if you cannot make the connection completely, that's okay too. Do your best to get as close as possible. So let me show you what that looks like. If I can't get these fingers to touch, but I can get them to do this, I can get both hands to touch, hopefully, right? Maybe I can get this here. Get as close as you can to the mudra. Here's how we do the mudra. We bring our ring finger to touch our thumb. Hold on, guys. Hold on, hold on. Puppy, come here. No. Puppy emergency. Okay, hold on. Puppy's gotta pee. Puppy interruption. All right. The Mahatrika Mudra. I have to go get him here in a second. The Mahatrika Mudra. Yes, it's for physical constipation, but it is for everything else that we store in our pelvic floor. This is usually where we store a bunch of shit. A bunch, like literally and metaphorically. And in yogic philosophy, there's something called the Runana, and I apologize if my pronunciation is wrong. I'm hearing it wrong in my head too. Runana. These are the kind of debris that we pick up in our lifetime, as well as from other lifetimes, as well as inherit genetically. And all of them can be represented as sort of stones or just stuff in your pelvic area. Our pelvic area, our root, is our connection to the earth, is our grounding in this physical reality. And so a lot of these things pool in this place of our connection to the physical reality. Because these things, these Runana, are pieces of that physical reality that we energetically take on that actually translate physically to low back pain, to cysts, to hemorrhoids, to menstrual cramps, to bladder problems, UTIs, to constipation, right? Stress causes constipation, guys. It could be your food. But I can tell you that addressing these issues energetically is going to offer you an unexpected shift, especially if you're used to only working on the physical plane, right? If you're only working with food and with diet and exercise and external care, there are layers of self that you're not at all treating. Remember that the body is the top stone of a cairn. A cairn is the stack of stones, right, that are all balanced and just right. That top stone is your body. If any of these stones are out of balance, if you touch any of these stones, what happens? The top one wiggles. This is your top stone. When something happens here, it's indicating that some other layer needs to be rebalanced. Yet we sit here and we focus so much on rebalancing this physical one first. If you go outside, get out, go stack some damn stones, blessed stones, and try to keep that one balanced with the other ones out of balance. Try to balance that top stone if your other shit down below is not balanced. I dare you. I double dog dare you. Tell me how it goes. Film it. Tag me. I want to know how it goes. But we do the exact same thing. That is how we treat our body. Why isn't this one balanced? Why can't I get it balanced? Why every time do I feel like I get it balanced, it falls back out of balance? It's the concept in Ayurveda that the things that pull us out of balance continue to pull us out of balance until we clear them out, until we don't give them as much weight. Everything in the physical reality is very heavy. Everything in the energy realm, in the rest of the, is much lighter, much more expansive. So, I got sidetracked there, but here is the Mahatrika Mudra. Bring your thumb and middle finger, thumb and ring finger to touch as close as you can get them. Touch the tips of those connections together with both hands. Remember, no more than the weight of a nickel. I know you guys are so tired of hearing me say it, but it's so important. Even when you sit with your mudra, remind yourself, no more than the weight of a nickel. No more than the weight of a nickel. And then, to finish the mudra, you bring your pinkies to touch as well. Yes, that means that your ring fingers are going to bend a little bit. You keep your pointer and your middle finger extended. The Mahatrika Mudra. And then you hold the mudra at your pubic bone. So ideally, and if you're just sitting like this, you can just put it in your lap here. If you're sitting like this, you can get a little bit lower, right? Find what position works for you, where you can get as close as you can, as close as possible to the shape of this mudra. Notice that it has kind of a pelvic shape to it, yeah? Yeah. We hold it in front of our pubic bone. This mudra is so blessedly powerful. Just be mindful of the level, degree of experience you are willing to experience. Please be gentle with yourself. You never got further down your path by hurting yourself. We don't walk with our head high while we were bitching at ourselves, while we're tearing ourselves down inside, right? So please do not use your mindfulness practice or your mudra to do those kinds of things. We are not in the business of creating a battle within ourselves. And that is why they say mindfulness can be dangerous. Because if you spend this time sitting with your mudra, bitching about how you can't quite get it right, and you'll never get it right, and your damn hands, and whatever the thing is, that self-talk, because you are giving it so much of your time. Remember how important your time and attention are, your awareness and your attention, your intention and your attention. If you give your attention during meditation or mindfulness, if you give your attention to that negative self-talk, the possibility of doing far more damage is so great. And if you find that you can't sit for 5 minutes without being mean to yourself, then start with 1. Start with 30 seconds. Put a timer on if you have to. And spend those 30 seconds saying, I love you, to yourself. Every single time those negative things come up, I want you to simply respond, I love you. I love you. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel fake. Trust me, I had a very mean motherfucker up in there. Very mean. And I still some days hear her so loudly that all I can do is to touch my heart and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Remember that when you speak to yourself, you are also speaking to God. Remember, when you speak to yourself, you are also speaking to God. What you are experiencing, God is experiencing. Hey, you guys, are you now the loudspeaker for Puppy? Telling me he wants some? Oh my God, come on, you two. Okay, all right. Come on, everyone. Well. Hi. I love you too, Ash. So, all of that said, if you are just joining us or you've been hanging out for a little while and you missed the meditation at the beginning, remember that my replays are always on YouTube. Your dog was barking too and you fixed your pelvis? Yay! Keep your Mahatrika Mudra this week. All you have to do is sit with it for 5 minutes. If you find that it feels good to sit for more, treat yourself. You can sit on the bus. You can sit in the passenger seat of a car. You can sit at work. You can sit while you're watching Netflix. I'm going to change the whole thing. It's Netflix and Mudra, right? Netflix and Mudra. Just hold your Mudra. You don't even have to pay attention to it, honestly. I mean, it intensifies the experience if you pay attention to it. Remember, what you give your attention to, what you water grows. And trust that it is doing the work to clear out a little bit more space. Is it going to change everything overnight? Probably not. Will you maybe receive some insight and some healing from it? Definitely. But the experience of mindfulness is directly related to how much attention you give it. Meditation is a personal practice. The more you sit with it, the more it will resonate within you. Hey, don't lick those on camera. My friend, what's my take on the eclipse? We are collectively in a time that I've heard called, right? Talking to my spirit team up there. I keep hearing it called the quickening. I keep hearing this word, the quickening. And I see more and more and more people showing up in my messages, in my lives, on our Discord, saying that they are experiencing things or degrees of things that they have never experienced before in their lives. We are awakening. We are collectively awakening. It has been said that the next coming of the enlightened one, people are talking about this eclipse and they're talking about the next coming of Jesus, right? They're talking about God returning, Christ returning. But it has been said by many, a wise individual, a wise mouth, that the next coming of the enlightened one is not likely to be a single person, but instead a community of people practicing mindfulness together. Why? Because this ascension that we are all experiencing is the process of recognizing the divinity within ourselves. We need a disciple. We need, or not a disciple, we need this, this singular individual to lead us towards enlightenment, when and only when we do not see the guru, the enlightened one within ourselves, who already exists within ourselves, the potential that exists within ourselves to reach that divinity on a personal, experiential level. Let that roll through you. No, I do not think any individual is going to arrive to save us. You are your guru. You have a direct channel of divinity flowing through you, expressing itself in every moment through you. If I have learned anything in how many years? Somebody count how many years. I started at 7. I'm going to be 40 this year. So however many years that is. For all of these years, if there's nothing else that I have learned and come to understand that has changed my experience of reality and of myself, is that divinity flows through every single thing, every single one, every single moment. And the only reason we do not experience that divinity, the pureness of that divinity, the love of that divinity, is because we block ourselves from it. And we do that oftentimes unconsciously. We do that oftentimes unintentionally because we have not been given the tools to not do that. I have been collecting these tools quietly. Not really quietly, I've been screaming about it for years, but the universe has seemingly kept me behind some sort of glass wall where I have been unable to communicate this with people. In the last few years, all of a sudden, I was given a voice. My brain just made weird connections about Disney movie. The Little Mermaid was my favorite movie, and the part about her losing her voice was so poignant for me because I had no voice as a child and growing up and further on into my adulthood. But my brain just was like, sorry, my brain doing its brain thing. This is what your brain does. Your brain looks for connections to confirm what you are experiencing or what you believe you're experiencing, what you think about your experience. So my brain just pulled the Disney movie and the memory of me watching it as a kid. Just like it pulls the experience of something scary happening. Just like it pulls the experience of, I don't need to repeat those experiences. Just like it pulls the memory of, something difficult, something scary, something sad up for us. When anything in our current reality reminds the brain of it. Does that mean that that experience is present here in the moment? No. But we bring it in. Like pulling balloons down, or I don't know. Where you put your attention heavily influences your experience of reality. So why not place your attention on the divinity within you? Friend, the world gives us pleasure. Only a higher power gives us purpose. Chasing God, our purpose is given. To chase means that that it is outside of yourself. To look for, to seek, means that you do not know it or have it now. To desire means that it does not exist within your reality yet. Do not seek or chase God. Do not seek or chase enlightenment or love. As he goes off chasing something in his dreams, right? Because to do that, you are telling yourself and you're telling your reality that you do not have it, that it does not exist right here, right now. But the reality is, God is already here. God has been here this entire time. God is in the sunlight. God is in my voice. God is in your words. Do not chase God. You will not find God. Receive. Allow. Surrender to the experience of God that you are already in. All it takes is a shift of your awareness. And this is why our words and our awareness and our attention are very, very important. Are you getting that? You getting that thing? Whatever it is, did you get it? Did you get it? Okay. Because if I say out loud, I am seeking inner peace, it means I do not have inner peace. If I am seeking God, that means God is not right here, right now, every frickin' where around me. So you can choose your experience. You can spend your whole life chasing that carrot, and it will stay out in front of you. Shift your awareness to the experience of God. Yeah, Hannah, I feel you. Truth. Truth is simple. But there's a paradox in truth, because while truth may seem simple, sometimes it can be very complex in experience and understanding. Trying to know truth is difficult. Experiencing truth is easier. Scudden, I don't know how to say your name there, friend. The only thing that complicates perception is ego. I hear you speaking in absolutes. There are many things that complicate our perception. Our experiences, our previous experiences that build our understanding of reality. We have different layers of ego, different, right? Ego is this term that people use and be like, oh, ego is bad. But it is your ego that is your physical reality self. It is that ego that kept you safe as much as it knew how. It is your ego that allows us to interact with this finite reality. For me to sit here and say my ego is bad, I want to eradicate my ego, is to say something that is a part of my nature as a human being is bad and therefore needs to be amputated. That's like saying, you know, I love you, left ear, but I don't want anybody to see you. That's the, I love the sinner, not the sin. There is judgment. There is duality. There is separation in all of those things. God is not separation. Agreed. Yes, we all have our own paths to walk and seek for ourselves. Here's the thing, right? This prism here. Let's get, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay. You see this prism here? All of physical reality, all of our human experience is seen through a single facet. My facet, my unique facet. Nobody else can look through my lens. This is mine and mine alone. No other human can completely stand in my shoes and see through my lens. So if I am here and you're right there next to me, we're going to have a very similar experience, and we're going to relate to each other's experience. We may even feel like we have the same experience. And there's a fun and a joy and a soul tribe thing about that, right? We look for these people. Yes. But we forget that there's somebody over here on the other side with their facet no one else can see through. And while I spend my time looking for these people, and I love sharing my experience and my perspectives with all these people who agree with me, it is equally, if not more important, for me to inquire about this side here. Because I will never know all of nature, all of God, all of reality through a pinhole. This is not the entirety. Dog, will you please go lay down? We'll go outside in just a second. This is not the entirety of reality. When I look through a keyhole, this is not the entirety of reality. Yet we pretend like our perspective is the entirety of reality. And we even tell other people their perspectives are wrong because they don't look like the one through my pinhole. And when we do this, we cause ourselves great loss. I can never go stand at your facet and see the other side of this. If I spend all my time listening and talking with these people here, all I will ever see is this side of reality. And if I further limit myself by judging and telling you that your other side of the facet is wrong and broken and not correct, and you got to come over here to my side, just further limit myself. Nature, experience. Do we need to experience absolutely everything for ourselves? No. Do you know why? Humans are designed with something called mirror neurons. That means I don't have to go out there and experience everything for myself, because when you tell me about your experience, my brain uses these mirror neurons to store, receive, and store that energy the same way as if I did the thing. That is why when you talk to your friend about the thing that happened, or your sibling about the thing that happened when you guys were kids, and nobody can remember exactly who did the thing, you ever had the experience where you're like, wait, no, it was me who, I don't know, did the thing, right? Or like you did, or I don't know who played the joke, whatever. We don't remember these things very well because our brain stores it the same, whether I saw you go through it or whether I did it, whether I watched it on a film or whether I did it or it happened to me in real life, whether I dreamt it or you told me about when it happened to you. All of these things get stashed away, filed in the library in the same way. So all I need to do to get myself closer to understanding the full nature of reality is to honor you for where you are, is to acknowledge the validity of your perspective too, and then to share with each other. And that's a two-way street. For you to see from my lens, you need to reserve judgment for a minute, approach it with curiosity and willingness, and be willing to suspend your vision of your reality. My mantra for a very long time was seek first to understand. Because if I could understand what it looked like from your perspective, then I had a much better chance of understanding why you do and say and need certain things. But the very nature of this reality is like the way that light hits the crystal and separates into all of these beautiful little rainbows, right? You see all these pretty colors dancing across my sweater? That is divinity fractaled into physical reality. Divinity is the light. Divinity is the sound. This matrix we're in, this reality, is the prism. Why do we experience ourselves as separate from God, from the nature of everything? Is because we are in this experience of reality that fractures the light and sends it into all these different directions, so we can experience all of these different layers, every single color of reality. If you are pure light, if you are just light, how are you going to experience color? If you're pure love, how are you going to experience sadness? By taking it apart, separating the pieces, seeing what makes up the whole. The nature of our reality, of our experience, is that experience of separation, is that experience of being the illusion, being in the illusion that we are separate from the light. Because it's just for a moment in time. It is finite, is it not? It is just for a moment in time when I can align the prism just right to the light, and these little rainbows manifest all around me. And as I turn this prism, they may move and dance, but as it continues to turn, they manifest, then go away. They are born and they die. That is the nature of finite reality. Right, Hannah? I've got a bunch of tattoos. This is what I think when people tell me tattoos are permanent. Yeah, for now. You're as sassy as I am. So, I actually did, Hannah, I saw you up there, said that you wish everybody could hear this. I made a video about this the other day. It's on my YouTube channel. So for those of you who are new here and have not followed me on YouTube, please go follow me on YouTube. Hey YouTube, what's up? Please go follow me on YouTube. It's where all my replays go. I am always live on YouTube. If TikTok falls down, if any of the other platforms go away, I will continue to be on YouTube. If YouTube goes down, or better yet, if you want to get the information that YouTube does not let me post, if you want to get the information that TikTok is taking down. Wow. My whistle is broken. Ozma, come here. Good boy. So, as I continue to share these things, as I continue to do these live classes, here's the thing that I keep noticing. The more I find, the more I share, excuse me, the more my stuff is taken down and hidden. And my favorite realization recently, the new thing recently, because I've been doing this for many, many years, trying to get this message out, talking to people, sharing my tools that I've collected over the years that have worked for me, sharing my lens. I am at Move with Change. Sorry, thank you, friend. I am Move with Change on all the places. I'm also on X, but gosh, I despise social media. I really do. But the fun thing, the new thing, is that we now have AI, right? We now have AI watching and adjusting our algorithms and the content that goes into the algorithms. Do you know what AI keeps saying about my content? Go watch my videos. There are no QR codes in my content. I don't think there's ever one that I have created. And yet AI keeps telling me, taking down my videos, telling me that it's QR content. Oops! AI can see the codes, the energy codes. Of course they can. Of course. They are not visible to the human eye, but they are absolutely perceptible to the code. It's the matrix. It's the matrix. It is just code to some degree, right? It's just a different perspective, different lens, different way to word it. Yeah, Hannah, Instagram is doing the same thing. Gabrielle, I am so glad. I'm so glad. I say that about social media, that I don't like it, mostly because I don't like to spend my time on it. Because that's what the algorithm is doing, is sending me the bendy, half-naked yoga girls. Like, that's not what I need to see, guys. But that's what they want you to see. Because what are you really learning in there? What are you really receiving in there? Yeah, I'm also on Kick and Twitch. Those I can go live on. However, I can't post content to there. So anyway, all of that said, what I was getting to was that we have a Discord. We are all spread out. Yeah, so we have to go online. Yes, but I've created a Discord so that we have a private space to share this stuff. I will share stuff to the socials, but if you want continual access to my content, if you want to join our little budding community of people who are on this journey coming home to self, right? On this journey uncovering the divinity within yourself, surrendering to the experience of reality. Come join us in the Discord. So the way you join the Discord is patreon.com at Move With Change. Go find my Patreon, Move With Change. You can join the Patreon for free. You can join the Discord for free. And then we also have layers of membership, tiers of membership that allow you to get into your mindfulness practice deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. I have very like Sangha seeker level, right? Where you're just going to get the astrology info for the week and play in our awesome Discord, right? If you want to join us for the live practice classes, like the one that's happening at 1 o'clock today on Pacific time, you'll need to join the next level up. If you want to get into the practice classes and the group coaching, you'll have to go the next level up. If you want to get unfettered, totally open access to every single workshop I offer, and let me tell you that the bulk of what I do, yes, I teach these live classes, but these live classes come and go. The workshops is where the meat of my information is, because I can't share that online. I can't give all of that information out. I mean, I could, like, and kind of do in like little seeds of it. But I have a membership level that allows you full, unfettered access to all of my workshops for the entirety of your membership. So some of my workshops I sell for anywhere from like $30 to, I'm building a workshop right now that's a $3,000 workshop, right? And I don't charge very much for my workshops unless they are really that big. That's a 3-year workshop that I'm working on. If you want access to every single one of my workshops, where I pretty much am emptying all of my toolbox to deliver to you guys, find that membership. That is the Sangha Scholars membership and above, by the way. So you can get the membership level on Patreon. You can get the membership level in the Discord. So if you want to go to the Patreon page and you click on the Discord and you join the Discord, and it's total nothing, you don't pay anything, stay here, hang out, enjoy the shenanigans, have fun, interact with each other, connect with each other. And then if you're like, okay, but actually what are you doing in those practice classes on Monday? Because I want those tools too. I don't want just the free stuff. Give me more meat, give me more experience. Let me integrate this, because this is very much what we're doing. I'm not just handing you information, I'm showing you how to integrate that information into understanding. You can go read the information everywhere you fucking want, anywhere. But it is how to turn it into understanding, how to distill it into experience that makes it have the profound effect that it's intended to. So, follow me in all the places. But if you want the meat of what I do, if you want to join us for private things, I also do offer private coaching. I also offer energy work sessions, group and private, in person and distance. I also offer private practice sessions. You want to schedule a couple times a month where we do private yoga sessions together to get you into whatever next stage, whatever, like, I do all of that. But here's the thing, I don't do single sessions. And the reason is because if you are walking on this path, stepping on, stepping off, stepping on, stepping off, stepping on, stepping off, works for a time. But if you seek to understand and integrate into experience, then there does need to be a level of commitment. And it's not about a commitment to me. It's not about a commitment to paying for a service. It is about you making the commitment to yourself to show up for yourself, to learn to love yourself, to recognize the divinity that is within you, to uncover your authenticity, and to be brave enough to let that shine through. That is what we do in the Discord. That is what we're doing over there in the CAYA Sangha, in our CAYA community. CAYA, C-A-Y-A, stands for Come As You Are, because that, your authenticity, is divinity. Your authenticity is God speaking, being, experiencing through you. Because you're just a little fractal, little rainbow, right there. That's me. This one's me. That one's you. That's you guys over there. But what are we really? Just fractals of this light. That is the unity, that is the one. The vigilant practice of love. Yeah. Jessica, I'm glad, my friend. It's funny, when I was in high school, I'll tell one last one. When I was in high school, I skipped I took metal shop and I made a ring for myself that I wore for many years, and I just recently gave it away to somebody. But I carved on the inside and outside my first little mantra there, which said, strive daily to inspire someone. I don't want to be perfect. I don't care if I reach enlightenment or not, honestly. You can call me many things. I can label myself as a million things too. But if I choose every day to be the kind of person that inspires myself, then I'm doing the most important work that I can. That's my archetype, I guess. Strive daily to inspire someone, even if it's just yourself. Seek first to understand, even if it's just yourself first. I love you so much. Come join me on the Discord. When all of these things start falling down and the algorithm keeps fucking with what you're seeing, you're going to wish you'd join the Discord. So get your butt over there. At Move the Change. Patreon, at Move the Change. YouTube, at Move the Change. All of my replays from all of my classes are there, and my lives, and a bunch more content. I am at Move the Change on TikTok. I am at Move the Change on Kick. I'm at Move the Change on Twitch. I am at Move a Change on X. I am at Move a Change on Instagram. I am at Move a Change on Facebook. Do I spend my time in those places? No. No. Because they're packed fat with a bunch of baloney that I don't like to consume. So, come join me in the Discord. You will find the link for the Discord on my Patreon page. Patreon.com/MoveAChange. If you have any questions about any of this, want to talk further about any of this, want to debate any of these topics, want the link directly for the Discord so you don't have to go find it, send me a message on any of the places. You can also email me at rev@movewithchange.com. Take your mudra with you this week. See if you can clear up some of that runanabandha. And pay attention to where you place your attention. Because that is what you are calling into existence. That is what you are watering in your garden. I love you. Enjoy your Monday. And if you are a Sangha supporter or above, then you can join us for the Sangha sessions. Class happening in a little more than an hour Pacific time. 1 o'clock Pacific time. Zoom link is in the Discord. If you're like, I want to get on that practice class, send me a message. I'll send you a link and we can expedite you through. Okay? All right. I'm going to go ahead and shut down. Take this dog outside, have some breakfast, drink some water, you know. I love you guys so much. Thank you again for joining me.